Yeah, who is this JN?
Hello, sir. Sir, I am Jigyansu.
What happened to other students? Why nobody is joining the class?
Sir, I don't know, but I think because most of the students are traveling back to their house from campus. So,
House from campus?
sorry, from campus to house.
Third year student.
No, final year students. For third year students, I don't know.
This class is for third year. You know, final year is only very few.
Yes, sir. So for final year students, most of them were in campus, so they are traveling back home.
They have already left the campus for last four days. Nobody's here. But final year students is only 22 students.
Yes, sir. Very few.
100 students are from third year.
Yes, sir. I don't know about third year students, but I am going to text all of them in WhatsApp to come and join the class.
There is no need because this is a class time. Nobody is here. Has anybody joined now? Can you see any more apart from you?
Apart from me,
There is
no one yet.
No one yet. Is there any message from institute not to attend the class?
No, there has been no message regarding not attending class. It has not been decided yet, so
No, there is no question of, because examination may be postponed, but classes are to be there.
Yes.
It's an online class.
Yes, sir. You have to attend classes.
Just wait. I will another. It's already 5 minutes. You want to listen the lecture?
Yes, sir. We can begin.
Okay. Just see. I'll quickly. So this is bending properties. We have completed tensile. So these are three types of bending normally we come across in textile material: cantilever bending, 3-point bending, and 4-point bending. So it depends what is the form of textile material. Accordingly, we choose the bending measurement. Cantilever bending means it's normally all our fabrics which are flexible, we measure by cantilever system. So when we test a fabric for bending rigidity, the force which is couple applied here is not a really applied force. It is gravity. I will show you. We have already carried out this experiment in textile testing. But when the material is in stiff, hard form, for example, textile composite materials, in that case, either 3-point bending or 4-point bending is carried out. So in 3-point bending, you can see there are two supports at the two rear ends, and there is a blending load at the center. Similarly, in some cases, there are two loading bending position and two support at the two rear ends. This is a typical bending couple curvature curve, which we will discuss later, but this is a typical bending couple and curvature curve. So what exactly we look into a bending? Look at a straight beam is subjected to a load at center, which is a 3-point bending system in which we try to measure the deflection. So in this case, the bending stress is given by sigma MY upon I. M is the moment about the neutral axis, Y is the perpendicular distance to the neutral axis, and I is the second moment of area about the neutral axis. So, but remember, this principle is used when the material is in stiff, rigid form, not flexible form. So classical beam formula for bending stress, where we calculate bending stress, flexural modulus or bending modulus, or sometimes we call bending rigidity. So bending stress is given by sigma 3PL upon 2WT square. So P is the normal force, L is the beam length, W is the beam width, and T the beam thickness. Y is the deflection at load point. So deflection load point means if you take this one, this will be straight, and when the load is applied, it bend. So from this central axis to the original center axis is the deflection. So this is how we calculate the bending parameter. Number one, bending stress. Number two, bending modulus. But in this subject, our objective is something different, which I will discuss gradually. Let us understand what are different terminology related to bending deformation. So the terminology, sometimes we use stiffness or bending rigidity or flexural rigidity, and when it is our fabric which is flexible, we use another term called bending length instead of bending rigidity. Stiffness, bending rigidity and flexural rigidity, all three terms are one and the same thing, which is same as bending modulus also. Modulus is nothing but a rigidity, a resistance to deformation. So this is the general literary meaning of modulus, resistance to deformation. If it is a resistance to bending deformation, it is bending modulus. If it is a resistance to tensile deformation, it is tensile modulus. If it is a resistance to a compressive stress, it is compression modulus. If it is a resistance to torsion, then it is torsion modulus. So the stiffness, bending rigidity or flexural rigidity or bending modulus is one and the same thing, whereas bending length is a special bending property parameter used in textile material, particularly for fabric, which is a flexible material. Then there is also another concept in bending. It's called high stress and low stress. Normally in textile, bending is a low stress measurement. As I said, in cantilever system, when we test the bending rigidity of a material or bending length of a material, we don't apply any load. Because fabric is flexible, it bends on its own weight because of the gravity. Whereas high stress, in 3-point bending, 4-point bending, some extra load is to be applied. But normally bending is low stress. In textile, we consider it as a low stress material, which also used for a different fabric quality parameter like fabric hand, like sometimes we use for the drape measurement, where this low stress bending properties is used. So usually people use the term in bending, it's called flexural rigidity. Flexural rigidity is defined as the force couple required to bend a non-rigid structure in one unit of curvature, or it can be defined as the resistance offered by a structure while undergoing bending. And we will derive some formula how to calculate this. When it comes to textile fabric, bending rigidity is a measure of the couple required to bend the fabric to a certain curvature. In textile testing, you measure bending length, where we bend the fabric to make a different particular angle, 41.5 degree. It is very closely related to fabric weight and thickness. This rigidity purely depends on what is GSM of the fabric. Fabric weight means gram per square meter, areal density, and thickness of the fabric. So bending properties of fabric govern many other parameters like drapability, formability, shear, fabric hand, and tailorability. These are the term or the quality parameters of the fabric which are governed by bending properties of a fabric. Drapability, formability, shear property, fabric hand, and tailorability. All these important fabric characteristics which are specially measured for apparel fabric which need to be converted to a garment. In that case, all these properties are measured and they are predominantly governed by fabric bending property. That's the reason why we measure or why we are interested in measuring bending property. As I said, we measure bending length, and there is a relationship between bending rigidity and bending length, which you must have come across in textile testing. In a textile structure, which is a flexible fabric, whether it is woven or knitted, bending is an important deformation affecting functional and aesthetic aspects. So functional is bending length is used to calculate drape. We measure drape in case of upholstery, furnishing and cotton, and also some dress materials like suiting. Bending rigidity, which is directly or very intimately related to fabric hand value, that is for clothing material. Creasing and wrinkling of fabric and garments associated with bending deformation. This bending is a high stress bending. As I said, there are two types of bending: bending under high stress and low stress. So these bending length and bending rigidity, which is used to measure fabric hand value, they are low stress. Whereas when we try to create a crease or wrinkle in the fabric, it is nothing but a bending deformation. But in that case, bending is a high stress bending. We apply very high load. So what is the difference between crease, wrinkle and bending then? Look at here, some creases are formed or wrinkles are formed. And wrinkle is nothing but the fabric is bent. So what is bending and what is wrinkles? And what is the difference between crease and wrinkles? Creases are a fold in a fabric introduced unintentionally. It is not desirable. The definition of a wrinkle is less clear. However, some define wrinkles as three-dimensional crease. Normally, when you put a crease by ironing, just you fold the fabric and iron. But look at the creases. They are three-dimensional. They make some very odd shape. Some other also define them as short and irregular creases. These are irregular, random creases. So crease resistance is the ability of a material to resist or recover from creasing. Crease recovery is a specific measurement of crease resistance. When we measure the crease property, we normally measure crease recovery angle. This must also you must have come across in textile testing. Crease recovery angle. If it is woven fabric, we measure this angle both in warp and weft direction. Normally we take the average of warp and weft and we say the crease recovery angle is this much. So before we discuss some mathematical model to predict bending behavior of a fabric, let us understand what are different attributes which are structural attributes of a fabric contribute to bending or stiffness. Resistance to bending of a fabric due to both frictional force and elastic force. We have already discussed little bit in rigid threaded model. While bending, there is some friction, interfiber, inter-yarn friction plays important role. So in stiffness, the parameter which is responsible to put bending resistance are broadly divided into two categories: elastic component and friction component. Elastic component are some theoretical minimum value, some geometrical parameter of fabric, and some adhesion. Adhesion is nothing but inter-yarn force, EJ. Frictional component is coefficient of friction and interfiber pressure. So geometrical parameter of the fabric are nothing but cover factor, weave design and relaxation. Setting, relaxation. This also we have discussed earlier, relaxation in previous chapter. As far as interfiber pressure is concerned, They depends on again cover factor, weave design and relaxation. So finally, if you look, what are different parameters which are responsible for this bending resistance? Cover factor of the fabric, weave design of the fabric, relaxation, that is the degree of setting, cover factor, in this case also same cover factor and weave, and relaxation. So these are some of the fabric parameters which contribute to bending rigidity apart from theoretical minimum. What is this theoretical minimum? Is a material properties. Means bending will also depend on what is the fiber, what is the yarn, what is the fabric physical properties. Like fiber means what is the diameter of the fiber. Yarn means what is the diameter of yarn, what is twist in yarn, what is packing density of the yarn. Similarly, if it is fabric, what is its GSM, what is its thickness. They all contribute to bending rigidity, which come under category called theoretical minimum. These are compulsory parameters which directly contribute to bending stiffness. So stiffness is directly proportional to modulus of the fiber, fiber linear density, yarn linear density, and thread density. So fiber modulus, you understand, it is inherent properties of the material. Fiber linear density is nothing but the denier or text value, which is linear density. Yarn linear density is count of the yarn. Thread density is EPI, PPI. And fabric structural interaction not taken into consideration in this relationship. Apart from these theoretical, these are the minimum thing which control or govern stiffness. Apart from that, the fabric structural interaction, that is frictional restraint, which we have discussed earlier, that also will be included now in the model. They also depends on, these frictional restraint depends on weave design, cover factor. Cover factor means nothing but the number of interlacements per unit area of the fabric, and these are all called, fabric structural parameter which contribute to frictional restraint, and this frictional restraint is one of the important contributing factor to fabric rigidity, as you have seen in previous table, friction. So friction depends on many things. Okay. This you have already come across in textile testing, how we measure the bending length of a fabric. So here this is a table on which fabric is sliding, and we slide the fabric forward to make this angle 41.5 degree, and at that point we see what is the length of the fabric here, which is called bending length. And bending length, this angle is a function of this formula which is already discussed in theory textile testing. So we are not discussing this again. Now the question is how we analyze bending behavior by experimental method and establish the relationship between couple and curvature. So this is a equipment. What this equipment does, which you can see here, this what you see here is a fabric. So fabric is just fulcrum at this point, then which is fixed over a rotating disc. We rotate disc clockwise, anti-clockwise. Initially the fabric is straight down. When we rotate this anti-clockwise, then obviously because of the gravity, the force act on the fabric bends, we measure the angle. Similarly, we rotate the disc anti-clockwise, clockwise. When it will come into this side, then also the fabric will bend. Then what we do, we plot a curve between couple and curvature. Couple is nothing but the gravity, which will depend on what is weight of the fabric. Curvature, the angle it makes, from where you can find out curvature. Curvature is nothing but the reciprocal of radius of curvature. So curvature is 1 upon rho, how much radius it makes. Then we plot a curve, you will find this is a typical bending couple curvature curve. And we do this, first we take the fabric in anticlockwise up to this point, then come back to center, then again go back to this way up to this point, then again come back to the center. So you can see the 4 phases from here to here, then return, from here to here, then return to origin. This is how this couple curvature curve is created. So this is a typical bending curve of a fabric. The bending deformation is non-linear along the curve OABC. Look at OABC. If you look at the complete from this to this point, it is a non-linear relationship between couple and curvature. The bending recovery is along CEM. So first it goes to this point. When we return the fabric on 4 means rotate in opposite direction, then it comes back to this point. So the curve does not return in the same path, it returns in a different path, and the new path is CEM instead of OABC. So the point D on x-axis represents non-recovery from bending deformation. So this point D on x-axis represents non-recovery. So from here to here, we started from here, it has come to this point. This is non-recovery from bending deformation. The point M on y-axis shows the negative couple required to straighten the fabric, because when we first rotate this way, the anticlockwise fabric bends. Then when you come back to this point, fabric straightened. So this point M on y-axis shows the negative couple required to straighten the fabric. So the negative deformation is, as you can see here, M, F, G, and recovery along the same line again come to this point. So the intercept DH in this case, intercept DH on x-axis is the recovery during the what you call complete cycle. Oh, just a minute. So now you can see.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are here. So what happens from this curve? What the most important component we found is the hysteresis behavior. So the distance between two intercepts determines the bending hysteresis, means energy loss, and this energy loss is mainly due to the inter-yarn interfiber friction, and we will theoretically calculate how much is this amount in this when we will discuss to develop a model to predict bending property of the fabric. So this is how you can calculate the bending recovery percentage and residual curvature from this couple curvature relationship. Same curve. So the intercept here Lm on y-axis reveals frictional restraint Lm during the deformation. The area enclosed within the curvature is energy loss due to friction and is termed as hysteresis, as I said. So higher is this area, more is friction loss, more is hysteresis value. The intercept OD, look at OD on the curvature axis is termed as the residual curvature. In practice, it is calculated as half of the intercept SD to eliminate the symmetry. So the recovery percentage is given by the KD value, KD over OK into 100, that is same as KD plus JH over JK into 100 for more accurate results, and the residual curvature KY is given by HD over 2 average value, HD over 2, because it is not very symmetrical from here to here, from here to here is not the same distance. So normally when we calculate residual curvature, we take the complete distance intercept divided by 2. This is how from a couple curvature plot you can find out what is the bending recovery percentage and residual curvature apart from the bending hysteresis, which is complete area enclosed by these couple curvature plot. And as I said, this hysteresis is predominantly due to the frictional restraint, which we have discussed earlier in rigid thread model. Okay. Now, in a typical bending curve of a fabric, there are two more terms. It's called cohesive couple. Is the couple required to restore zero curvature? And this is given by M naught, which is Lm over 2. Just like DH was the residual curvature, similarly here it is called cohesive couple, Lm over 2. And initial flexural rigidity is the ratio of couple to curvature. So at any point on this curve, when you take the ratio of couple to curvature, it's called initial flexural rigidity. So elastic flexural rigidity is the mean slope of EF and H, and final flexural rigidity, which normally what we try to find out. This point I will explain later, but you can little bit you can see here. Although we have discussed in rigid thread model, look at when bending starts from this original point. Initially, the resistance to bending is very high. As you can see, the curve tilts towards this couple axis, means the resistance is more. This is because of the friction. Gradually, when the load increases, the curve tilts towards this curvature axis. Okay, and this is typically a structural parameter. That means how much frictional restraint is there in the fabric, that will decide what will be the shape of the curve. Okay, now before we must proceed, I just want to give you another information on this. This is a typical very advanced bending rigidity measuring instrument. We call it Kawabata system. And you can see here, this is a vertical jaw in which the fabric is fixed and it rotates. So the fabric is a rectangular shaped fabric. In one edge the fabric is fixed by a jaw and the other end it rotates. So it makes a bending, just a cantilever system bending, in which what we measure, the two parameters we measure from this measurement, the B, which is called slope between 0.5 and 1.5 curvature. This is 0.5, 1.5. So between these two curvature, what is the rigidity value, and 2HB is the hysteresis value. So from this instrument, it translates from this relationship, which is couple curvature relationship, what will be the rigidity of the fabric and what will be the hysteresis of the fabric. You already know what is rigidity and what is hysteresis. Hysteresis is the total area enclosed, which is basically because of the frictional restraint. So this instrument is a very sophisticated electronic equipment which translates the resistance offered during this and total work done, means complete area enclosed by these cyclic curve, that is loading and deloading, the total, which is a measure of bending hysteresis. This instrument gives that, and this is a low stress measuring equipment because the fabric is bent at a very low strain rate. That's why it's called a low stress measuring equipment. And the value which we obtain from here, both bending rigidity and bending hysteresis, used to measure the fabric hand value. You know, probably I don't know whether because it is not in your syllabus, but if at any point of time you come across this point, you can see this terminology. It's called fabric hand value. Hand value means when a fabric comes in contact with her skin, what is our perception about the fabric? And that perception depends on many mechanical properties: tensile, bending, shear, compression, friction, etc. Bending is one of the major contributor to this fabric hand value. And the bending rigidity and bending hysteresis, the B value and 2HB, these two figure we get from this test, used to calculate hand value in a customized hand equation developed by Professor Kawabata, what is mentioned here, Kawabata equipment. So Professor Kawabata has set up a equation which is called equation of fabric hand, in which these are also one of the parameters. There are 17 parameters in that equation. So these two parameters also included in that hand evaluation equation. Okay, this rigidity we can skip. Estimate of G minimum. This point also I have already told you, not necessary now. We will straight go to bending of woven fabric. So the model starts from here. Whatever I discussed is fundamentals. Just to understand what is the bending rigidity of a fabric, what are its applications, what kind of measurement we carry out. Normally, the bending test is a relationship between couple curvature, and from the curve, what all parameters we get. We get residual curvature, we get bending hysteresis, we get initial resistance. So many parameters you can get from this couple curvature relationship. But now our aim is, as a theory of textile structure, if we know the fabric construction parameters, you know all what are fabric construction parameters which we have used in all geometry, in rigid thread model, also in tensile properties. The same thing we will do here. How can we predict the bending rigidity of a fabric if the fabric construction parameters are known? That is the sole aim of this chapter. So to start with, Egg Olofsson is one of the researchers. He is the person first to produce the graph of relation between bending moment and curvature, which we call couple curvature relationship. as you can see here. In some cases, in some literature, you will find the curve goes like this, means arrow is reverse, and in some cases the arrow is in this direction. So it is nothing but if you take the couple here and curvature here, the arrow direction will change. So it is, you can, because both way testing is possible. You can keep the curvature constant, go on measuring how much couple is, or you keep changing the couple applied, then see what is happening to the curvature. Both way the testing is possible, and you can keep one independent variable, another dependent variable. Based on that, the couple curvature relationship which will be established, you can see the arrow mark here. Earlier the arrow mark, if you go to the previous diagram, see what is the arrow mark direction, is this way. So curvature was here, but in this case, look at, curvature is here, couple is here, so arrow mark is reverse way. So don't get confused, both way are correct. Only thing is, depending on where you are putting couple, where you are putting curvature, accordingly put the arrow correctly. So this plot shows marked hysteresis. Already you know what is hysteresis. So you will find any couple curvature relationship of a fabric will definitely produce a hysteresis. This is usually attributed to internal friction between fibers. This point I have already told you. So this hysteresis behavior is predominantly due to intrafiber inter-yarn friction. Okay, and this is what the conclusion of Olofsson in his very first study. The study was related to the relationship between couple and curvature in a bending deformation of woven fabric. Recall, I have discussed, giving some idea about this in rigid thread model. I am doing the same time now because it is basically related to bending studies of woven fabric. And this relationship was given by Professor Grossberg. Grossberg suggested that the bending behavior might be approximated by, see, all previous curve was, this is the approximate curve. The curve never comes like this. It is just approximated. Actual shape of the curve is like this, or rather actual shape of the curve is like this. So if you make this as a straight line, this as a straight line, join in both ends, the approximate curve comes in the shape of like this. So when this curve is approximated, the relationship comes to be 1 upon rho is equal to 0 when m is less than m naught. So 1 upon rho is curvature. Curvature is reciprocal of radius of curvature. And this reciprocal, that is curvature, becomes 0 when this applied couple is less than m naught. M naught is frictional restraint. So you know already enough about m naught m in rigid thread model. So remember, 1 upon rho is equal to 0 when m is less than m naught. Recall, we have discussed this point in detail in rigid thread model. From here, you can conclude b upon rho is equal to m minus m naught. And this relationship you get particularly in case of fabric when applied couple is greater than the frictional restraint. That means the fabric starts bending. Actual curvature starts forming only when the applied couple is greater than the frictional restraint of the fabric. Then only you can find out the fabric bends, and at that time the relationship will be m of b upon rho is equal to m minus m naught. So m minus m naught means extra couple. This is applied couple. This is already exerted by the fabric because of the friction. Once we exceed this value, the additional couple which will be generated here will create or bend the fabric, which as a result make a radius of curvature rho, and the relationship becomes b upon rho is equal to m minus m naught. That means as this couple will increase, the radius of curvature will decrease, the curvature will increase. For actual fabric, 1 upon rho is equal to 0, but usually very small. It's not really 0, quite small. We approximate it 0. And this point we will discuss later when we will discuss what is this frictional couple, what is the hysteresis value. That model, in that model I will discuss it again. But remember, in a realistic, in actual fabric, this 1 upon rho is normally is equal to 0. So yarn configuration in fabric, I'll just give some idea about this. Actual model we will discuss next class. M0 and B in terms of yarn and fabric parameters are related previously. We considered point contact, but more realistic condition is as shown in the fabric. Remember, I have already discussed with you point contact and the contact over a particular length. In actual fabric, the contact is like this. But we have also discussed if there is no change in cross section of the yarn, means if this is weft is circle, warp is also circle, one circle touches to another circle just at one point. At that time we call it point contact. The region of contact has important role to play in determining bending behavior. Because look at this, if the load will be applied, look at my cursor, this is a fabric. If the load will be applied here, load means couple, that is bending. Couple will applied here. When this fabric will bend, means this yarn will bend. When this yarn will bend, initially it was in a point contact. As it will bend, this contact area or contact length will gradually go on increasing. That is what the point written here. The region of contact has important role to play in determining bending behavior. How much it will bend, you can determine just looking at how much contact length increases. Let us understand what happens during bending of the fabric. During bending, the region AB, look at, tends to increase. If the fabric will bend, means couple will be applied here, it will come down, down, down. Initially, the contact length was AB. When it will bend, this AB will increase. And the region DE, in this case, will decrease. When initially it was in this, the contact length was less or both were same. When it bends, this contact length will increase, this contact length will decrease. That is what written here, fabric before bending. So based on this, a model is formed. So what is the logic of the model? Just I'll stop here explaining this logic of the model, the actual model, because we cannot complete in this class, and I'll cover it in the next class. So based on this, remember the philosophy here. This is a unit cell of the fabric. As you know, in unit cell, let's say this is the contact length between yarns. When bending load will be applied, it will bend. When it will bend, basically what will happen? This is warp yarn, this is weft yarn. The contact length between warp and weft here in this case will decrease, and in this case it will, in this case it will increase, in this case it will decrease. So the logic of the model is, to calculate the flexural rigidity of thread, one has to see how much strain energy in the bent cloth and equate the strain energy with the work done by the external couple. When we apply a bending couple, the fabric will bend. When the fabric will bend, some work will be done. When some work will be done and fabric is bent, some strain energy will be stored in the fabric. If you can equate, or if you will be in a position to measure how much strain energy is stored in the fabric and how much work we have done to bring this situation, and if we can equate the work done by applying the bending couple and the consequent strain energy stored in the fabric, then we can find out what is the flexural rigidity of the material. Because the rigidity depends on how much resistance it offers. More is the resistance offered, more work we have to do. More is the work we have to do, more strain energy will be stored. So if you are in a position to equate or relate the work done by applying bending couple with the strain energy stored in the fabric, then we can find out what is the bending rigidity of the fabric. This will remain the basic philosophy or logic to develop this model to find out the bending rigidity of the fabric. Based on this model, we will start developing, we'll discuss in the next class. So I close it here. Tomorrow we'll meet at again same time, 8 o'clock. You can log out.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.